You guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Karen. If you don't recognize me, I have a wig on and I have a bunch of tattoos on. Okay, not gonna lie, back in like when Tumblr was super popular, I have retweeted, no wait, what do you call it? Reposted ABG photos because I have actually thought about getting a sleeve, a rose sleeve like this, so I'm living my true fantasy right now. Today I want to thank Makeup Forever for sponsoring this video, and today I'm going to share with you my favorite foundation. This is the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. I love this foundation because it has skincare properties. There's ginseng in it, it brightens your skin, it just makes your skin feel so moisturized and smooth. Okay, without further ado, let's just jump into this video. Today's topic, we're going to talk about toxic friendships. And now that I'm 30, I can say I've had a fair share of great friendships and toxic friendships. I'm gonna start prepping my skin first with this Makeup Forever Professional HD Skin Boost. You definitely wanna always start your skin off with like something moisturizing so that your foundation sits really, really closely and beautifully on there. I'm gonna start off with just talking about like what a toxic friendship looks like. You don't realize you're in a toxic friendship until you're drained and you're tired. And then you're wondering like, wait, why does being around this friend that makes me feel so good when we first started hanging out makes me feel so tired now? And usually those instances is when it's like a little sign that's like a little ding ding ding, like, hey, you're probably in a toxic relationship. You shouldn't feel drained or tired, and when you do, those are the times where it's like you need to speak up. So this is wonderful. I love this guy so much. So next I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. This has skincare properties in it. I love products with skincare properties in it because I think it's very important that when you're wearing makeup, you're also taking care of yourself. I'm in the color Y225. The beauty of this product is that it helps brighten and smooth out your skin and also helps increase hydration. It's really important, especially in the summer right now. It's like super dry. You definitely want something that like makes your skin look bright and radiant. Also, this has light to medium coverage. So after I apply this on, you're gonna see that this gives you a beautiful satin finish. And I have a little bit of pigmentation on my skin right now because of my pregnancy. My skin has just been looking different lately because hormones and whatnot, and the beauty of this foundation is that it covers it all up without making it look cakey or dry. It does a really beautiful job of evening my skin tone. And some of the key ingredients in here are ginseng, which helps with collagen reproduction, you guys. So that's like amazing, especially now that I'm a little bit older. I definitely want to focus on like collagen rebuilding and taking care of my skin and making it look youthful even while I'm wearing makeup and foundation. So I'm just gonna go ahead and focus a little bit more here on my cheeks. That's where I have a lot more discoloration than the rest of my face. It's such a beautiful finish. You're fairly new to foundations and you're not an expert in putting on foundations. Do not worry because this foundation is just so easy to apply, especially with a sponge like this. Okay, so going back to the topic of toxic friendships. So how do you know? Personally, something I've learned about myself is that I tend to start off a friendship not setting the proper boundaries. Like a couple months later, I kind of pay for it because people think that I'm a certain way because of how I presented myself maybe the first 2-3 encounters that I've had with them, and I don't show them that like, hey, I'm the more introverted than I seem to be and I need more alone time. You know, those are just things that I notice about myself, is that I don't speak up enough about when I kind of need more personal space. I used to think, oh, asking for boundaries and being vocal about it, I'm not being friendly. But that is not the case, because what happens is you get tired and then you get resentful and then it kind of bites you in the butt after the fact, and you definitely don't want that in a healthy relationship. It's a two-way street, so you gotta communicate how you feel. The thing is, if someone is not meant to be your friend, you'll figure that out the first 2-3 encounters that you've had with them, especially if you're honest with who you are to them. And that way you cut out all the bullshit and you don't end up having these like toxic friendships with people that you might have just set up yourself for. Stella actually asked, first of all, what is a toxic relationship? I'll link everything in the description box below too, so you guys don't have to, so I'm not going to be talking to like what product I'm using in this video. Well, I started off with a first point is like one that you get really exhausted in and you don't know why. And that's mainly because your boundaries have been crossed. One of the signs of a toxic friend is someone who can't be happy for your successes. And that can look like jealousy or is jealousy. For whatever reason, whatever they're going through, have trouble at that point of their life being happy for you. And they might give you some backhanded compliments. When they say something like that, you might wonder like, that was weird. So those are moments that if you feel like something is weird, your gut usually tells you immediately when something is off, and you should trust it. I think another sign of a toxic friendship is when there is a huge amount of codependency. And if you don't know what that means exactly, it means that your happiness and your friend's happiness, it's like intertwined with each other. And you can't do anything without each other. And if you, for example, don't talk to your friend every day, or you have another friend outside of this friend and they become clingy, that's the word. If they become clingy, that's also a sign of not healthy relationship. I would attest that in movies, they make those friendships look like how they're all supposed to be. For example, like if your best friend in a movie has a boyfriend and then your best friend starts like hanging out with the boyfriend too much, in that movie scenario, that best friend is wrong for hanging out with their boyfriend too much and has left you behind. But the reality of this world is that people's lives continue on and they move on and they grow. And those situations actually happen a lot more frequently than you think. So I think it's important to note that it's okay to feel like you're left out if your best friend, for example, has a new significant other or is like creating new friends. It's okay to feel that way, but know that you shouldn't be angry at your friend for expanding their life. You should be happy for them that they are growing in new experiences. And if you can't be a part of it, that's okay too, because it means that maybe you're slowly growing apart, which is kind of sad if you think about it, but that is just part of life. And maybe it's time for you to focus on yourself a little bit and figure out, oh, what new hobbies can I bring on? Because when you're in a relationship like that with a friend, you may not realize that you have been doing everything together for a very, very long time. And it becomes such a norm that it's almost expected that you guys do everything together. People's lives start evolving, especially in your mid-20s, and know that it's okay to feel sad or left behind. It's okay to feel all of that, but make sure you don't take it out on your friend, because that's where things can get really sour and that's when things get toxic. Marley might ask how to deal with being left out of group plans by a certain person in your friend group. And they lie about it, giving you the invite and info, but they make statements behind your back that signal that they did not like you. Whew, that is a fake friend, and you don't want anything to do with that person. If you love the rest of the group of people, you can hang out with them individually, but I would at all costs avoid that fake friend, because that's just a mean person. Move on with your life and find better people that make you feel good about yourself and not hurt you. You know, you should never feel deliberately hurt by a friend because they're excluding you, because that is not a friend. That's just a bully. Okay, so La Luna says, why is it so easy to keep going back when I know I'll be hurt later? It's because it's what's familiar. And it's probably what you've been putting up with for a really long time. I've definitely had a friendship that was like that, where I felt hurt and I would keep going back to the same situation over and over and over again, thinking that I was like doing our friendship and them a favor. But that actually means it's like, I'm not protecting myself. I'm not setting boundaries for myself. You guys are gonna hear me talk about boundaries a lot in this video. That's something I definitely struggled with, like, because I used to think that I was being a better version of myself if I let somebody else walk all over me. I was helping that person. But actually that is a form of a codependent friendship, thinking that you can help someone when they never ask for help. You gotta realize that you're not doing anyone any favors, not even that friend, because you actually end up growing resentful of that relationship when you are being hurt so much. So I actually had to, I actually went through therapy, and I've learned a lot about setting boundaries for myself. And I have to unlearn that those behaviors that I exhibited in those friendships were not good when I thought they were. It's okay to let go of things that hurt you. And the hardest part of it is to know that your value, that you are worth more than this, and you are worth more than being treated this way. And there are actually and absolutely people out there that will value you for you. And if you speak up to them and you communicate with them, they will respect you and listen to you. Because the worst type of friendship is when you communicate how you feel and it's not heard. You're being gaslighted. I think in a friendship, you have to listen to each other. It's a two-way street. If someone says something, shares their emotions and feelings, you have to acknowledge it. You have to try to understand what's going on. It doesn't mean that you're gonna be walked all over, but it means that you acknowledge it, you understand what they're saying, and you try to work together to see how you can fix the friendship. But if it gets to a point where it's always someone's fault, the one person's fault, and there's no resolution in coming together and healing together with understanding, then it's probably time to walk away from that friendship because there's no common ground of understanding. Okay, so this is a really good question from Anna Barrick. What should I do if a friendship ended objectively for the best, but I still want to be friends? I think I totally understand and feel you, Anna. In situations like this, don't be hard on yourself for the actions that you make because it's definitely all a learning process. The desire to reach back out. But let me tell you, it does end up hurting more than it's worth, if that makes sense. So one thing that kept me sane and safe and protecting myself, because when you are coming out of a toxic friendship, it's almost like a psychological thing that you have to like get yourself out of, because you've been in that same situation for so long that you don't know, you keep doing these toxic acts over and over and over and over again. So when you're in a situation like that, you have to actually have like an outside voice. But if you don't have an outside person telling you this, let me be that person to tell you this right now. Be your own best friend. If you wouldn't allow your best friend to be treated like you're being treated by whoever that you're trying to go back to or be friends with, you gotta tell yourself that, girl, stop it. You deserve more than this. You don't deserve to be treated like this. Now I'm telling you, because this is a voice that I need to hear in my voice in order to not keep going back to the toxic relationships over and over again. Like, girl, stop it. You deserve more than this. You deserve a friend that cares about you completely, wholeheartedly, and you deserve you deserve to have a friendship that is whole and you guys listen to each other. You deserve to be treated better. I care about your well-being. I understand that pain and how hard it is to get out of that situation. So I'm gonna tell you right now, don't do it, even though it seems so tempting, because your psychological mind is wired to go back to things that you're familiar with. But I'm gonna tell you right now, don't go back to something that hurts you over and over and over again. Start fresh, let it go, spend time alone by doing things that makes you happy. So someone asked me if I have like a story to share about my most toxic friendship. I've had to learn a lot about myself too, because look, it takes two to tango in a toxic friendship. Something that I learned about myself is that I make excuses for myself to be in a toxic relationship because I think that that's the right thing to do. I used to believe the movies, and I thought that you're supposed to have an old lifelong best friend that will stick with you forever, and that you're supposed to work through everything in life together no matter what, even if it's not meant to be. And I think my biggest lesson out of that is really setting boundaries. That's something that I didn't know that I had to do when I was in a friendship. I thought that if your friend wants to stay over at your house for like 3-4 days in a row, if she's your best friend, there's no question about it, right? She's gonna be there no matter what. If your friend is venting to you about something, you have to listen to it. You know, all of these things that are expected out of a best friend. I mean, with any relationship, right? You start growing weary and tired of some of the habits that they have, but I didn't feel like it was a best friend thing of me to do, to say like, hey, I'm getting really tired of hearing all of the complaints. What I've learned is, hey, if I'm unhappy with it, if I'm tired with it, I need to say something. And that was a mistake that I made, was not speaking up and letting this friend do everything that she was doing. And I never said anything to her about it. You know, let your friend know in a very kind and loving way that like, hey, you know, my bandwidth is like only so much. I love you so much, but I guess at this point of my life, I don't know how to support you, although I really want to be there for you. I have some like suggestions of outlets that maybe you can talk to. Maybe you can talk to a therapist. I always recommend a therapist because that's what they're for, is to help you work problems in life that you just can't seem to figure out. Friends are not supposed to be your therapist.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say, like, you can't expect your friends to help you through childhood trauma.
Yes. Okay, Leo just added, you cannot expect your friends to help you through childhood trauma. And a lot of times the things that you can't figure out as an adult is probably rooted from some childhood trauma or some type of issue that you were not able to resolve when you were younger. Whatever the case is, your best friend, your friend is not there to fix you. If you have that expectation of your friend to fix you and you expect them to always be there for you, look, you're being a toxic friend. That's not their job. You guys are just supposed to share moments of life together, but not fix each other. That's what a therapist is for. So if you're struggling through it right now, don't be hard on yourself. When you're in a toxic friendship and you're like trying to heal from a toxic friendship or wherever you may be in that situation, it's so easy to want to vilify that person when you're hurt. Nobody is either just bad or good. I think there's nothing as binary as that. Everyone is in their 20s are just trying to figure it out. This is where I've learned what the true meaning of grace is to understand that people are all people and they all make mistakes. And I used to put people on pedestals thinking like they should be a certain way, made them into this like perfect friend. And when they don't meet up to my expectations, then I get all upset or confused or hurt or whatever. But just know that not everyone's perfect. Everyone is figuring it out on their own, in their own timing. And it's okay if there's one season in your life that you and your best friend at the moment are not super close. You guys are just growing. Neither of you guys are bad people. Be kind to yourself and your friend. Then there is a chance that you guys can become friends again in the future. Joyana1612 asks, how do you know if a friendship is not a friendship anymore? That actually kind of breaks my heart because I've definitely been through stuff like that before. The time is up for a friendship when you just can't hear each other anymore and be empathetic towards the pain that each other is feeling. I think you'll know when a friendship is not a friendship anymore is like, pay attention to your body. If you tense up, you get nervous, or think about meeting up this person, it doesn't make you feel good. That is the first sign that that's probably not someone that you should have in your life right now. So for the concealers, I'm using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. These are super universal. So this person wants to be anonymous and they said, what do you do when your friend starts acting like everything is a competition? That ain't your friend. That's your frenemy. Frenemies are very, very close to what a friend looks like because they're there through your good times and your bad times, but they are the ones who are most involved in your life when you're going through something tough. And when something is good happening in your life, they'll be there, but they're gonna be competitive with you about it or dismissive to your successes. So what do you do in situations like that? And I think everyone handles these situations differently. I'm a Taurus. I don't have a lot of capacity for fake people. So I actually personally, I just walk away from that situation. I'm okay with moving on from people that I don't feel like value me or add value to my life. If you have a friend and once you realize when you're not friends with them anymore or they're not in your life anymore and your life becomes better, it means that that person wasn't supposed to be your friend anyway, because friends are supposed to lift each other up. It's supposed to be a good time. And if it isn't a good time, you're supposed to be able to work things out and talk things through together. Kitchen Sink Fatima says, I recently fell off with a close friend. What is some advice to help me move on? Baby, I'm so sorry. I can feel your pain. I know how that feels like personally, I truly do. It hurts. And I'm gonna say it takes a long time to heal from friendship that is broken, because as in any relationship, you give a part of yourself to somebody, and then when it's no longer a connection, it takes time to bring that part of your life back to yourself. The best thing I can offer, suggest you to do in that time of healing is to really do something that makes you feel the most you and you feel the most empowered. There's no right or wrong way of approaching on healing. For me, I had to just remove myself from all of anyone that reminds me of that person. I know that sometimes you might actually end up doing things that might feel like an escape too, but know that that's your healing process and it's okay. But just be aware of it, you know? Make new friends and don't have too much expectation for those relationships, you know? Just have it lighthearted, share parts of your life with these people, and do something fun like getting your nails done or going to a picnic. Well, right now we're quarantined. Maybe you guys can like play some online games together like Animal Crossing, make new relationships, form new friendships, and when you do, you'll start realizing, oh my gosh, having a lighthearted friendship that's not hella complicated is also like so refreshing. Brenda asks, how do you deal with friend breakups? Okay, this is what I did. I kind of had a glow up. I worked out. I had a lot more free time, right? So instead of hanging out with my friends, I decided, you know, I'm gonna like invest that time back into myself, doing things that make me feel good about myself, like physically. So I started working out and I ate healthier. I also focused on my mental health. I talked to a therapist. So I actually like did a whole rehaul of my life when it felt so dismal and felt really sad. Now I'm completely healed. I'm very happy with where I am, and I've grown a lot in the whole process because I did things for me. I stopped worrying about other people and how other people perceived me. I realized I do my makeup like an ABG all the time. Ooh, my nose is snatched. This is in the color Butter Biscuit. I love cream contours because it just looks so soft. For my lips, I'm lining it with a MAC liner. This is called Subculture. And then I'm using my favorite color called New Nude by 3CE. By the way, I admit when I had like a Tumblr back when Tumblr was still popular, I saved images. I didn't even know they were called ABGs at the time, but I saved images of ABGs with like these like roses sleeve tattoos because I thought I wanted one. So this is kind of funny, like I actually get to see myself with these rose tattoos now. Wow. Oh wow. Okay, let's do another one. Oh wow, it's so pretty. Oh wow. Oh my god, I'm a pregnant ABG. I went from plant mom to like hella hard ABG girl. Okay, you guys, this is the completed look. They're so pretty. Can you believe if I've actually like got a tattoo like this? It's actually not that bad, you know, it's really pretty. Okay, I'm obsessed with how this turned out. Whoever started this trend on Facebook, no, sorry, Facebook. Whoever started this trend on YouTube, major props, because I finally got to see how I look like as an ABG, pregnant ABG. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I want to thank Makeup Forever for sponsoring this video and letting me put on their most amazing reboot foundation. I absolutely love it. If you guys are on the market looking for a foundation this summer with skincare properties, I don't rave about foundations like the way I rave about this foundation. It is so good. If you go on YouTube and you just search Reboot Foundation, listen to other beauty gurus talk about the Reboot Foundation by Makeup Forever. It is phenomenal. It's the best foundation formula that I've tried in a really long time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, give a thumbs up. If you guys liked how I've transformed myself into a pregnant ABG, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!